Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest driver of engagement is that humans are inert in the same way that physical objects are inert. So something has to act on us to change what we're doing or how we're doing it. So this is something that, really begins with casinos in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, where casinos did everything they could to remove the sense that time was passing. So there were no clocks. They're built so that it looks like it's always dark. You don't want to see the sun rising, for 3 consecutive days, realizing you're still at the same slot machine 72 hours later. And by removing these cues, people aren't shuffled along to the next thing, and they end up spending way more time on the slot machine, and that's beneficial for the people who are trying to extract every marginal dollar from you. And I think that same logic now applies to how you design video games. It applies to how you design social media platforms, any screen experience. Once you have people on the device, how do you keep them there? It's not that you keep making it sweeter and sweeter so they're just like, this is fantastic. It's that you don't remind them that there are other things to be done. So you remove every possible friction point for them, and they just sit there. They just keep doing it. And that's why Facebook went from having this button that said load more, where you could click the button and the newsfeed would unscroll or unspool further. Now what happens is you scroll and you're like, I feel like I'm scrolling forever, and it's because you can scroll forever. It's designed that way. It's infinite scroll. That's true on Instagram, it's true on Twitter, it's true on pretty much any social media platform. All of this is by design. If you can remove every possible friction point, if you make the experience maximally fluent, people never hit a roadblock. And it's those roadblocks that historically, think about the 20th century, those roadblocks were the things that said to us, maybe you want to do something different. You'd watch a TV show, you get to the end of a 1-hour episode and you'd say, well, the next one's going to be a week from now. I'd probably better do something else rather than just sit in front of the box for the next 7 days. Or you'd read a newspaper, and even if you were an avid reader, you'd get to the end of the newspaper and you'd have to get up, fold it away and do something different. The same with books. You'd get to the end of a chapter or the end of the whole book, you'd put it aside. Everything now, because it's digital, because it's on screens, can be engineered so that it seems or actually is bottomless. And that's a huge problem for people who are trying to manage how long they spend doing something.